Okay, and suddenly we're getting a flurry of contact tracing warning messages here. And even though I'm offline right now as I'm recording this, I'm not connected to the internet. There's nothing I can do receiving those messages. I've mentioned them before. So anyway, the camera went off at 17:41 in the first period. Montreal had scored to go up 2-1. So I'm just going to roll forward from there. This is game four of potentially a 7-game series, though Toronto's already up by three games in it. They're 3 games to none. And yeah, but they are behind 2-1 in this game, so at least there's that if you're a Habs fan. 5 minutes, we're going to advance right into 2 minutes into period two, this time with the odd number, that's visitor with possession. And let's see here, with the six, that's going to be with the six. Wait, because we're in the second period now, so I have to double check here. Montreal with the B and Toronto with the A. Montreal's looking at C6. So they do actually have a 33% chance of scoring here, but with the six they do not. So play forward. Six, so that's going to be minute 8. Once again, Montreal. So finally, they're getting some chances here, but with the C, actually this is a goal on a 1-3. With a 5, they don't actually score on it. So all for nothing. Let's see. Another minute comes off the clock. This time it is Toronto with possession 2. I'm looking at B2 shot on goal. No. So fire wide and wild, and we go forward. 2 more minutes come off the clock now. Minute 11. That is Montreal once again. I'm looking at C2 as well. They're just not able to get it through there. Shot blocked or just shot high and wide. And whoops. Next roll. Okay, this time 5 more minutes come off the clock. So we're at minute 16 now after a few goals there in the first period. Nothing so far here in period two. And minute 16, once again, it's Montreal possibly with a C. I look at C5, so again, they're just not even hitting the net. And another minute comes off the clock here. Montreal once more. I look at C4 because that was a 4 initially. C4 is shot on goal 1-2. And with a 5, Montreal, again, they're not able to do it. But they are still holding on to their lead, at least so far. 2 minutes off the clock here, so in minute 19, it will be Toronto. I'm looking at B4 this time. Ooh, B4, goal from 1-4 here for Toronto. And with a 1, they score pretty easily, it would look like. So 2-2 tie here late in period 2. And at the exact time of the goal here, 19. That's at 19:55. Oh, that's a heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching one there if you're a Habs fan or player. 19:55 here of period 2. That's going to be scored by 3-6-2 on Toronto is George Armstrong. Armstrong having a big game. Good to see. 3-3, so 2 assists on Armstrong's goal. And with the 2-1-6, the first of those 2 from Bert Olmsted. Armstrong set up by Bert Olmsted and also contributing on the scoring play. 5-5-6 is Ron Stewart. He's had a few assists in this series. So Armstrong from Olmsted and Stewart with 5 seconds to go in period 2. And we have a 2-2 hockey game here with the Leafs up 3-0 in the series. In case you're joining us, late. Let's see here. 2 more off the clock. So 1 minute into period 3. This will be Toronto's possession. And with the 4, and this time in period 3, they're both A. So I'm looking at column C for both of them. A nice simple period 3 here. And C4, I'm looking at, yes, a goal from either a 1 or a 2 could score here. With a 4, they do not actually. So 2-2 game here. Could we have sudden death? It'd be the 3rd time in 4 games in the series if we do. Up to minute 4, that's Montreal. Montreal, I'm looking at C6. They can score on a 1 or a 2. And with the 2, it's going to be the Habs actually going up 3-2 here in period 3. Okay, let's see who scored this time, but let's get exact time. So here at 4:24 in the 3rd period, scoring the goal for Montreal, 4-1-5 is Phil Goyette, and Goyette's goal, 2 assists on his goal. The first of those 2 assists, 5:45. Either Bill Hickey or Tom Johnson. With the even number, that's Bill Hickey. Phil Goyette from Bill Hickey, and the second assist goes to 4:34. Either Jungie Talbot or Bob Turner, actually. Let's see here. Even, so that's Bob Turner. So it was, what did I say? Phil Goyette from Bill Hickey and Bob Turner there at 4:24 of period 3. And going forward, 2 more minutes come off the clock now, and it's Toronto's chance. Toronto, I'm looking at C4. They can score on a 1-2 here and tie the game. With a 5, they do not. So it's, yeah, we keep going. Okay, this time four more off the clock now. We're up to minute 10. And here at minute 10, Toronto's again. And with a 1, I'm looking at C1 this time. They could score on a 1 to 3. With a 2, Toronto actually ties it here midway through the third period. So we're up 3-3. And I like, we're getting a good mix here. We had a few tight games, and then we had the one blowout there in game 3, as good hockey games should be, as they should play out. So, anyway, Toronto, the exact time, that's 10:13. So 10:13, and scoring the goal for the Leafs, 354. 354 once, yeah. George Armstrong with having a big game here. And 426. George Armstrong from Larry Reagan. I think there were 2 assists that came up on the goal. If not, I'm feeling generous. So Frank Mahovlich as well. Armstrong from Larry Reagan and Frank Mahovlich. Here at 10:13 of period 3, we have a 3-all game, and this is Toronto's up 3-0 in the series, and this is game 4. 3-0, I should say, or something like that in the series. Another minute off the clock, another possession for Montreal. I'm looking at C5, shot on goal now. Another 2 minutes come off the clock here, and I'm looking at possession Toronto this time, shot on goal now. 6 more minutes come off the clock here in minute 19, Toronto, and I'm looking at C2 this time, shot on goal now. It's looking like OT. Let's see here, 1 minute, and Montreal this time, so C3, shot on goal save Johnny Bower. We are indeed headed to OT. In OT, and I really like that actually, should sudden death come up, you can look here. Montreal is like period 1. They are A in OT. Toronto is B in OT. So that means Montreal is going to roll on column B when they have a possession and a chance, and Toronto's going to roll on column C. So here with sudden death, and here in game 4, Montreal actually at risk of being eliminated and swept. At least they're making a bid for it in this one, though they did in games 1 and 2 as well. So we're going to take another minute off here, and that's going to be Toronto. And Toronto, I'm looking at C5, shot on goal now. Okay, another minute comes off the clock here, and this will be Montreal this time, so I'm looking at B4. B4, actually, from 1 to 4, Montreal can score. With a 3, they do. Let's see who got the game winner in overtime here, and let's see exactly when it did happen here in overtime. 4-3, Montreal would like to see that at the series end as well. It's now 3-1 Toronto, the series score, but let's get that exact time and that goal scorer. So here with 2 minutes and 12 seconds, that was a 2 initially. I just have twitchy fingers. 2:12 here in OT. And let's see who scored for Montreal. 4:46. Who's the OT hero? Oh, yes. 4:46. Maurice Rocket Richard. Until Joe Sakic, at least, the leading. I mean, come on. You can't write this. You can't make this up. I don't care what anyone says. 4:46 in OT. His team down 3-0, facing elimination, at risk of being swept. Maurice Rocket Richard scores for Montreal to keep them alive in the series. Oh, man. Okay. Anyway, so that was game 4. And because game 1 was in Toronto, let me pause and switch things up here. Sorry, I got so excited about that. Let's see if anybody actually assisted on Richard's goal. Indeed, a pair of Canadians did. 425 for the first one. Is that not Richard's range again? It is. Maurice Richard all over this one. 325. Henri Richard, so brother Henri assisting his goal. And the second assist provided by Tom Johnson. So it's Maurice Richard. Richard from Richard and Johnson here at 2:12 in OT. And yeah, Rocket Richard was actually kind of technically my first hockey player, even though he would have been like, really, I think the allure for me and for many a Montreal fan is just that, again, they have such a storied past compared to a relatively, lousy present at times, for lack of a better way of putting it, or for not wanting to put it any more impolitely than that. So I think we're naturally, as Habs fans, kind of drawn to the history of the team. And then on top of that, there is this book called The Hockey Sweater, Le Chandail d'Hockey, and I know I probably didn't pronounce that as well as I could have, at least, when I was in the French immersion program in middle school, dropping out of French altogether in the first year of high school, being among life's biggest, greatest regrets. But we move on. We can't live in that now. But anyway, The Hockey Sweater, mine was the English edition, The Hockey Sweater. Did it have French in it? It might have. I had a couple of different copies of it. And so he was my first favorite player from reading that story. And yeah, it's good. There's a couple of movies, I think, a couple of films of it up on YouTube. Some Heritage Canada stuff, I think, Film Board Canada, or whatever it's called. Maybe some what is it called? Goodness, that lets me know I've been away too long. See, oh my goodness, what is it? I even wrote part of a song about how they ruined the Tragically Hip for me. The CRTC? Yeah, the CRTC ruined the Tragically Hip for me. That's not true, actually. I like the Tragically Hip. But anyway, um, yeah, okay. Where were we? It's game five. Toronto's up 3-1 in the series. I really should have paused it. Okay, we roll forward here. 4 minutes into game five. And Montreal this time actually with a shot. Again, this is similar to OT actually in the game before. I mean, they're just looking, they're looking at column B in period one, and Toronto's looking at column C. I look at the B4. Montreal can score on a 1-4. And with a 4, indeed they do. So Montreal here, they're going up here early, good and early actually this time at 4 minutes and 01 seconds. So 4:01 here in the first period. Montreal is up 1-0 here in game five, scoring the goal for the Habs, 5-1-4. So 5-1-4. Rocket Richard scored the game winner in OT. Don Marshall, and with a 1 and a 4. So that means 2 assists in the goal. Don Marshall from Jean Beliveau, who's been almost suspiciously quiet in the series. He's at the top of both the goals and assist columns. And the 5:26 is Claude Provost. So Don Marshall from Jean Beliveau and Claude Provost here at 4:01. And we roll on. 3 more minutes come off the clock. So we're up to minute 7. Now Toronto's on the road. They have possession with the odd roll. And with the 5, I'm looking at C5. Toronto can't score because it's shot on goal now. 6 more minutes come off the clock now. After minute 13, a mid-period lull. 6 Montreal with possession. I'm looking this time at B2, shot on goal now. 2 more minutes come off the clock here. So at 15, and Montreal again, I'm looking at B3. B3, they can score on a 1-3. And with a 4, they do not score this time. So moving forward. Okay, playing on. Up to minute 17 now. This time Toronto once again. Toronto, I'm looking at C2. And at C2, it's just shot on goal now. So, okay, let's see here. 6 minutes, so we're actually in minute 3 of period 2. 1-0 Montreal after 1. Low scoring affair thus far. With a 2, Montreal, and I'm looking this time because it's period 2. They simply reverse. Montreal's now in C and Toronto's in B. So I'm looking this time at C3 for Montreal. It says shot on goal save. Bauer with the big stop. 6 more minutes come off the clock here. Up to minute 9 in period 2. This time it'll be Toronto. Toronto, I'm looking at B3. They can score and tie here in a 1-3. With the 1, indeed they do. So we have Toronto getting the goal here. And at 9, we're going to roll for exact time here. 9:23. 9:23 for the goal. Scoring for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2-3-2. 2-3-2. That's Bert Olmsted. Bert Olmsted, how many assists on this goal? 2 assists on this goal. And 6-2-3. So it's 6-2-3. That is... Edmondson, not Joel Edmondson, currently of Montreal, obviously, or Joel Edmondson. What am I doing here? Oh, yeah, the even number. So Edmondson with the assist, actually, and not Jerry James. And anyway, Toronto, it's a 1-1 game here, and I did say 2 assists. So the second assist is 4-1-4. 4-1-4 is Red Kelly. Again, like John Beliveau, I could say Red Kelly. Been a little, suspect quiet in this series anyway. A little quieter than one might expect. Okay, we roll forward here. 1-1 game about midway through here in game 5. Toronto up 3-1 in the series. 5 more minutes coming off the clock. 2, that's Montreal. So I'm looking this time at C6 for Montreal. They can score on a 1-2 here. With a 3, they just barely do not. They just barely miss. And another minute comes off the clock here in minute 15. Toronto now, I'm looking at B3. They can score on a 1-3 and pull ahead. Toronto with a 1 there. They do. Okay, so Toronto up 2-1 here in game 5 of the series. And let's see if they, let's see the exact time of the goal scored here. That's going to be 0-2. So 15-0-2. A lot of goals scored just past the minute here recently. I just like noticing trends like that and pointing them out. With a 1-5-5, Bob Pulford getting the goal. These games do take on little stories all their own. The dice tell them. So 2 assists on Bob Pulford's goal. And with a 4:24, the primary assist going to Larry Reagan. He's picked up a few points here for his cause in this series. And 5-6-4 is... Ron Stewart, and I could say the same about him as I just did about Reagan there. So it's goodness. Paulford from Reagan and Stewart here at, I think I said, what did I say, 15:02 of the second. Was it 15? Did I have, yeah, the White Six? I did advance to minute 15. I hope yeah, because they scored about midway through. Anyway, so should be careful. And I thought this would make it easier using sort of the bigger, sturdier, heavier pawn or marker. Anyway, 5 minutes. We're going to be in the first minute of period 3 here. Toronto with 20 minutes away now from closing out the series and reversing history. And but the 4 comes up, so it's going to be Montreal. And this time they're both rolling on column C in period 3. I say that to remind you and me as well. Rolling on column 3, so I'm looking at Montreal and C4. C4 says they can score on a 1-2 here. 1-2 here to tie it at 2. With the 3, they just miss. So 6 more off the clock now, up to minute 6. Toronto wouldn't mind seeing that, and they do have possession this time. C1, Toronto can actually, they have a 50% chance of scoring here, adding to their lead, and with the 1, they do. So it's 3-1 here for Toronto. Oh my. And let's get the exact time of that goal here in minute 6. What did I say about the goals just past the minute? So it's 6:01. It's Toronto and scoring Toronto's goal. Let's see here. We're getting a lot of blue ones here, though. 5-3-1 is Jerry Emmon or Gary Emmon. No, it's Jerry Emmon with that goal. And 3-1, so 2 assists on Emmon's goal with a 4-3-1 for the first one is Larry Reagan, once again, picking up a lot of helpers here. And 1-3-6, that is Bob Paulford. Paulford as well having a productive night. So 3-1 Toronto. Time running out of Montreal here in the series and game and series. I put that down now. And let's see here. 2 more minutes come off the clock. Toronto's chance again. I'm looking at C3 shot on goal save, Jacques Pallon. Another 2 minutes come off the clock. Here at minute 10, it's Toronto once again, and 4. C4, it's a 1 or a 2 here. Oh, and with a 1. So many blue ones, blue number 1. So that had to have gone up to 15. Wait. And no, minute 10. I did say minute 10. Oh, dear. Tripped myself out there. So minute 10, Toronto, they score. It's 3-1. Yeah, get the exact time here. So 10:34. And scoring Toronto's goal is 3-1-5. That would be Red Kelly. What did I say? He was quiet. He's having a big game here this time. 1 and a 5, 2 assists on Kelly's goal. 5-2-2 is either Harris or Hampson again. And it's going to be Harris this time, 5-2-2. So Kelly from Harris. And the second one is 3-5-6. Johnny Wilson. Glad I looked up his name just to double check on that. So Johnny Wilson here, along with Billy Harris, they've set up Red Kelly here to put Toronto up by 2. And there's just 10 minutes to go here in the game, possibly also in the series. Montreal needs a bit of a miracle here, and with 2 minutes transpired, the 4, so it's theirs. But shot on goal and a save. Bauer coming up clutch when he needs to here so far. So we roll forward here. 16 now, 4 to go. It's going to be Toronto with possession. And the 4, I'm looking at C4. Toronto can add to their lead. And they do. Toronto up 4-1 here. Okay. And you know what? I mean, goodness, 3 games have gone to overtime. So you can't look at this and be like, well, this is not realistic because Montreal won in 6 games and Toronto's ahead in this. Look, 3 games went to OT. This has been, other than that one blowout, okay, well, this might be the second kind of blowout here, but still, this has been a close enough series. Toronto had a really formidable team in 1960 as well. So here in minute 16, getting the exact time of the goal. It's at 16:25, and because if you just want a Xerox of history, then why play it, right? Just go to your photocopier, and go to reference.com, hockey reference, and just, print. Anyway, so goodness there, opinionated banter aside, and support of this game, of course. 6:31 is Ron Stewart with the goal, and a couple apples on it. The first being 3-3-4. Ron Stewart from George Armstrong. There we go. Really having his mark on this series. And 3-1-3 is that Armstrong again. It's Dick Duff, actually. Ron Stewart, I think I said from Armstrong and Duff here, it's a 4-1 game with 4 minutes to go. So I will roll for the formality, but I believe as the rules of this game would mandate, I think it's impossible now for Montreal. Into the final minute, Montreal with possession. Let's see if they can salvage something here at the last second. I'm looking at C2 shot on goal. No, that's just reflective of what's gone on. So one more sort of goodbye roll here. I do like the roll for, yeah, with the 6. I mean, that's well beyond the final buzzer anyway. So they're just shooting at an empty net now. The arena's empty, the rink is empty, the arena's empty. And there you have it. Toronto winning 4-1 in the game and 4-1 in the series. Keep in mind that they came into today with a 2-0 lead, having won back-to-back games there in sudden death. And so there you have it. Montreal, they managed to nab one in overtime. Maurice Rocket Richard with the OT heroics there in game 4, but they just couldn't. You can only go to the well so many times with your superstars and everything. So there you have it. Congratulations. Good going on Toronto here. 4-1. So, yeah, if I guess once again here, let me just give one last look. So this is hockey time, and Jason now has this game out, Flash Hockey, which I'm not going to say exactly when because, of course, I have a few projects on the go. I'm designing a few different games, and I watch a lot of hockey. But this eventually, obviously, it's on its way. I will say that. I think Hockey Time, like I had the files printed or downloaded at least in like December, and then once again just for having other stuff on the go, other projects and whatnot. So anyway, that's Flash Hockey, and this that you were just watching was Hockey Time. So anyway, thanks for any time that you've given to this. Thank you for any consideration, and bye for now.